Welcome to Mad Props. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. We have a little double Dolo episode. I usually say solo Dolo, but it's me and my producer this time. Had a guest. We had some scheduling conflicts, so that guest will be joining us perhaps next week. So there might be another episode coming out next week. But for now, it is Hannah and I. Hannah, you are back on the podcast again. I think you missed the last one or something like that. I don't know. It's been like a month.
That sounds right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been a while.
like a month. It's a month in, a month out, month in, month out. But you're back finally, back again with us. We're going to talk a little bit about the WNBA draft because Hannah has some thoughts. We'll have some other stuff coming up too. Before we get to any of that, we got to get paid. So you know what pairs perfectly with long commutes, boring chores, or pretending to be productive at the gym? A good story. That's where Audible comes in. Whether you're into true crime, epic fantasy, self-help, or celebrity memoirs read by the celebrity themselves. So that person's actually reading the book to you if they're still with us, that is. Yes, even the one you're thinking of right now, Audible has it all. Here's the kicker. You could try Audible free for 30 days. Just head to audibletrial.com/Schnabel Studios to get your free trial today. That's right. On audibletrial.com/Schnabel Studios, you get 30 days for free. You could be listening to all those things we just talking about or pretend you're being busy by listening to them right now. That's audibletrial.com/Schnabel Studios. Let's be honest. If your pets can talk, they definitely tell you your cleaning game needs work. That's where Nicasa comes in. Whether it's pet hair taking over your couch or that mysterious mess they leave right after you clean, Nicasa's grooming vacuums and smart home cleaning tools are built to handle the chaos so you don't have to. Seriously, it's like giving your home a personal assistant that doesn't eat all your snacks. Check out Nicasa.com to upgrade your cleaning game and maybe even impress your pets for once. Use code MADPROPSPOD to get a special discount on some Nicasa cleaning supplies. Your floors, your furniture, and your fur babies will thank you. That's Nicasa.com. Finally, this podcast is brought to you by Schnabel Studios. If you go look, Schnabel Studios is not where we're posting this anymore. If you want to find this, you go to Mad Props Pod, but you can also find it on the Schnabel Studios YouTube page or schnabelstudios.com if you are interested in that. Stay tuned to the Schnabel Studios page because there will be some documentaries coming out over the summer or maybe even the fall if it gets held up. But there will be stuff coming out on there, so you definitely want to follow Schnabel Studios on YouTube at Schnabel Studios or go to schnabelstudios.com to catch everything. Schnabel Studios. Look at that. I feel like I actually did pretty well on that because I changed the wording of everything right before we started recording.
Yeah, so it's fresh on your mind. No, that was good.
Oh, let's go back. I didn't change anything. ChatGPT changed everything. But when you joined the room before we hit record, that was the first time I read either of them.
Oh.
Like I was in the middle of reading the Nicasa one while you jumped in.
Uh-huh.
And you heard me. I was like, "That's weird. Why would I say it that way?"
Yeah.
That was and me being dyslexic. This is a big win. This is a big win for the reading community. Thank you, Audible. Oh, even though Audible didn't do anything. How have you been? So you're back on the pod. You're back with us. You joined in last minute. You weren't going to join this one, but then I was like, "I need you to join this one," and you did it. So how's it going? How's it like being back on the pod? Are you feeling good?
Yeah, feeling good. I've been busy, had a lot going on. Springtime is always busy for me.
Yeah.
So, and of course, my mom's car is in the shop, and so she has mine. So we're just
This was
hanging
almost
out
an
today.
in-person or podcast going on here because we were going to do the other one, which got held up. I'm actually in Maker's Gym in Frisco. Shout out to Maker's Gym for setting me up with extra time to be able to do some stuff today. But great place to podcast, great place to get your stuff done. There's actually podcast studios, there's sound rooms, there's like TV recording studios, there's all this stuff, there's editing suites. I'm giving them a free plug because I paid for this room.
Yeah.
They gave me some extra time, but I paid for this room.
You sent me the address. I was like, okay, we're doing this at a gym. Like I didn't even
No,
look into
yeah,
that. I just saw the gym in the name. So
we could. It was an
it's not a
athlete, so
gym.
technically we could have done it at a gym. But no, Maker's Gym in Frisco. Thank you guys for hooking us up and helping us out. I'm not a member here. We don't do enough in person to be a member, but they gave me the member treatment when I came in. So I'm happy with them and stuff like that. So thank you for there's your free plug. Hopefully they enjoy that. Goes out to all our followers and stuff like that. Go to Maker's Gym if you're in Frisco.
Yeah.
They're also reasonably priced. Very reasonably priced. I looked at one of these in Houston not too long ago, and it was like $200 an hour. This is
I don't know what the standard is. I've never.
I don't know what the
rented out a
standard is either,
room,
but 200 seems crazy. $400 for 2 hours of recording seems nuts. No, I'm not making the blueprint over here. I'm trying to record a simple podcast, and that's it. So 200 seems kind of steep, but I don't know. This is very reasonably priced here, so I very much enjoy the reasonably priced part of it. I think my connection just went out.
I don't know if we lost Chris.
Yeah, my connection went out.
Okay.
It's all good.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was mine. I was like,
it was definitely mine. As I'm boasting Maker's Gym, their internet goes out on me. So there you go. There's the boast, and there's the no, this isn't great. But no, they're great. Go to Maker's Gym. What I was saying.
This is pre-recorded.
Yeah, pre-record. I'm leaving all that in. You're gonna cut my internet out. Everything's being left in. What you mean? You don't cut out my internet. What I was saying is $200 seems pricey. $400 for 2 hours seems like I'm making a Grammy-winning album, which I'm not. I'm making a barely passable podcast. So it's about $60 an hour. I think that's pretty solid. Yeah, I think that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
So
before
tax,
even if it has touchy Wi-Fi.
Even if it has touchy Wi-Fi. Well, usually you're probably not doing it on Wi-Fi, but here we are doing it on Wi-Fi. So we're gonna cut right to. We're not even gonna go to the credits or anything. We'll probably do that in the beginning. We're just gonna go right into it because I said, what are we gonna talk about here? This is like almost like an emergency pod. We didn't really have anything going, and you're like, I have to talk about the WNBA. So I'm giving you the floor to just go and talk whatever you need to about whatever's going on in your world of the WNBA. I did not get to see the draft. I saw Paige Beckers was drafted. I saw Zag was drafted, but I was traveling all over the place. So I didn't see it. So the floor is yours to start this off.
Okay, I have 3 things. First of all, I'm obsessed with Paige Beckers. I have been for a long time, so I'm very excited that the Wings got her. I was a little worried because I had heard rumors that she'd be like, no, I'm not going to play for the Wings because she's not going to be, like, she might be a star on the Wings, but she's the MVP. She's incredible. So I was worried about that, but went the way I wanted it to. Fantastic. And we got, I think, like 5 other new people. I don't know, but it's going to be a good year for the Wings. What was my second thing? Oh, also, I thought it was really cool how Paige shouted out 2 of her. Oh wait, that wasn't even one of my things. Okay, I have 4 things.
You 4 things now.
She shouted out 2 of her teammates. She was like, I think they should be drafted. They were great. And then they both got drafted. So that was cool. Like, they went to watch her get drafted and they got drafted, which was similar to Kate Martin getting drafted last year when she went to see Caitlin Clark. So that was a little bonus thing. Number 3, I am so upset that Taylor Jones was not drafted. She played at Texas and I knew her somewhat personally. We had a class together, so not like super close. But I was so bummed not a single Longhorn got drafted. Yeah, I've been in her presence. She's tall. It was so funny because, I mean, she's a basketball player. She has huge hands. And I had sign language with her. So she was pretty easy to understand in sign language.
There you go.
And then 4th, Sedona Prince did not get drafted.
That's the TCU one, right?
Yes. And everyone is so excited about that because she just, from what I've heard, the few things I've heard, she's just a terrible person.
All right, let's pause for a second because I haven't really. I know she's like this person nobody likes or something like that.
Yeah.
What is it that she's done? Or rumors? You could say rumors are, so you don't feel like you're saying anything out of school. But the rumors, what is it that she has done that causes this in the first place?
There have been, I want to say, like 2 to 4 claims from women she has been with that say she's been an abuser, has like physically assaulted them.
Yeah.
And like several claims, not just from one person. So I don't know if that's like, I figure watching the draft, they brought up that she had these claims against her. Yeah. So I'm thinking that's what the teams were thinking, like, oh, we don't want this bad press. I don't know if she just wasn't that good. I mean, she played college basketball for 7 years.
I was going to say, I thought she was like projected first round pick.
I I
Well,
thought so, but
before all that, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
talent-wise, I thought she was a projected
hmm
first-round pick.
yeah.
Person-wise,
So
scum of the earth.
yeah, and I mean there are so few teams and so few spots in the WNBA. I mean I like to think their thinking was just we don't want a bad person playing with
Yeah, I
us.
mean, you could do
So
that
I thought that
when
was
there's limited teams and a
right.
lot of good talent coming out, especially in the WNBA
hmm
recently. The talent has
Yeah.
obviously boosted up and stuff like that. So easier to do. If there was 30
hmm
teams, you in 2 or 3 rounds, who knows? Somebody would probably take a
yeah.
flyer because we've learned
Yeah.
we've learned anything about sports, they will take a flyer
hmm
on somebody no matter how terrible a person they are if they have the talent.
Yeah.
But if the talent's there, if the talent's around them, you don't really need to take that flyer. So
Right.
nobody picked her up
Right.
after the draft or anything like that.
Not that I know of. And she had a post on her Instagram that was talking about going into the draft and she deleted it right after. So
Yeah,
I
she's
don't
like going in
know.
the draft. I can't wait to be on my new team in
Never
Europe,
mind.
in
Yeah.
Europe because
Yeah.
not in
Yeah.
the
Yeah. In
WNBA.
Europe. Yeah. But
Do the players in WNBA still
mhm.
have to do that? Do they still have to play like overseas, or are they
a
finally
lot
compensated
a lot of
enough?
them do. They don't make enough like they I think Caitlin Clark's salary is 75,000 a year, but
Nuts.
she has all
I
of
mean, she
her like
makes
sponsorships
millions,
and
and
deals.
yeah,
Right. Um, but a lot of them still go play overseas, but they also I think this year was the first year they have the unrivaled
that's right.
3x3
The three
teams.
by three
Yeah,
teams.
and so
Yeah,
they're being paid significantly more. And I know like Paige Becker's just signed a 3-year deal with them, I think. So that's going somewhere. So that's another way for them to make money. So there are options, and like the well-known players obviously have so many sponsorships that
yeah. But
they're
it's not.
making good amounts.
The fight shouldn't be about the well-known players. It's more about
Right,
the up-and-coming players and stuff like that. But
right.
yeah, I
Yeah, but
think
it's getting better.
yeah, with the attendance rising and stuff like that, and some
hmm
players coming out of college that are just like as exciting as anybody's ever been, right? Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be good for them as they continue to grow and build and stuff like that, and hopefully the money boosts up. Like
hmm
people like this, they like to say that they should be paid more, whether it's players or people, but you can only pay what you're bringing in. Even though they do get
Right.
that salary stipend from the NBA or whatever it is, that it's like
hmm
a couple million. You can't, if you divide that $1 million between 12 teams and 12 players, it probably rounds up to about what they're making now. So it
Right.
makes sense that's her salary being 75 is pretty crazy because she easily brings in
hmm
5 to 6 times that, if not more than that, just by ticket sales. I mean, when she
Yeah.
came to Dallas, tickets were like $300.
hmm
It's nuts.
Yeah. The game for the Dallas Wings versus the Indiana Fever, that game's in June, I think. They moved it to American Airlines
Yeah.
because of how many people were going to be there. And tickets, I looked, they're like crazy expensive. So,
What's a ballpark?
I mean, it's, yeah,
What's a
yeah.
ballpark? What's a
They're, I
ballpark
think,
price?
oh gosh. So I did the pre-sale thing and I didn't end up getting one because I just want to look at prices. I want to say the lowest I found was like 200 for like
At the American
nosebleeds.
Airlines though, like you're sitting way
Right.
up in
Yeah.
the nosebleeds. When Luka
Mhm.
came back, tickets were 350 in the nosebleeds. So you're talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
$150 more for Luka's return
Mhm.
in this game. That's not even
Yeah.
usually played there. Like that's the
Right.
crazy thing.
Yeah. I honestly I could be wrong too. Let me actually I can look it
I
up.
don't think you
But
are, but yeah, I bet you
I
it's
don't
like
know.
because like I
It's
said last year,
mhm.
Paige Beckers wasn't even on the team yet, and it
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
$300 a ticket just because
Mhm.
Caitlin Clark was coming in.
Yeah.
She can make a $10 ticket, 10 times the price easily.
Right. Right. Yes. Oh, goodness. But have we talked about the Luka trade since I saw you
No,
last? I don't
we
know that we
definitely
have.
haven't. Like not on podcast
Ugh.
or in just regular life. We haven't talked about the Luka
Yeah.
trade and how ridiculous it was.
Mhm. The night it happened, my boyfriend called me. He goes, "Hannah, did you hear the news?" And I was like, "What news? Did someone die?" And he told me that
Yes,
Luka was
a
being
fan
traded. I was
base
like, "That's
did.
not true." Like, that's not true. I went and I woke up my dad and I was like, "Jackson's saying that this is happening." And he was like, "That's not true. It's just a rumor." And then I go to bed, and then I wake up, and my mom comes in. She looks like she's about to cry. She's like, "Luka was traded to the Lakers."
Oh
And
my
we
goodness.
hate the Lakers in this
I'm
family.
sure.
Not do not like them. And my dad is such a Mavs fan. That day, he packed up all of his Mavs gear and put it in the garage.
Yeah.
Like, he was devastated. And it's still like every time I see Nico Harrison's face, I'm like, what'd you do?
Well,
So,
it's that's why the rumor spread so hard about them like moving the team and stuff like that
yeah.
because I actually I was in DC for the DC's Defenders game working in the UFL if people didn't know. And we were in an Uber and the guy he's from the islands and they big basketball guy. I've always known the guys from the islands love basketball. They love LeBron.
Mhm.
Always love LeBron.
Okay.
So the guy asked, "Do you like basketball?" And I like the Orlando Magic. If you're watching, I'm wearing a Magic
Mhm.
jersey right now as they get smoked by the Celtics probably. But anyway, I'm wearing I go, "Yeah, I like the Magic, but I love basketball. Basketball has become my second favorite sport in the last couple of years." And we're going back and forth and we were talking about first of all, he's a Lakers fan. He thought we were arguing back and forth because he said, "What do you think about the Luka trade?" I was like, "It was ridiculous because Anthony Davis is good, but not that good." And he was such a
Right.
Lakers guy. He was like, "I don't know, man. You wouldn't want Anthony Davis on your team." I was like, "Luka's like 26. He's gonna be there for the next 10
Yeah.
years." And by the way, he's like one of the best 3 players in the entire league. Like
Mhm.
maybe 5. Let's say 5, right? Like
Yeah.
Jokic is better. I'd probably put Giannis over him. And then it
Mhm.
starts in SGA right now because SGA is scoring 30 points. But then you start getting to like maybe SGA, maybe Anthony Edwards. Like now you're getting to the maybe these
Right.
people. The first 2 are
Right.
easy. And then it's like maybe the next couple people. Anthony Davis,
Mhm.
I'm not even to 15 to 20 by the time I'm like maybe this person,
Yeah.
So Austin Reeves had to be in that trade. Like someone else had to be in that trade, not just Anthony
Yeah.
Davis. This Uber
No,
driver was he was so adamant that it was a fair trade. And I'm like, you are a LeBron guy, you're a Lakers fan right now. You should be
Mhm.
happy that you got it for just AD. Because Austin Reeves should have been in
Yeah.
that trade, and this team is definitely worse if Anthony Davis
Yeah.
and Austin Reeves are gone. But you got to keep like who's usually the second best player on the court every time he's on the court on there. So
Mhm. Yeah. Well, we even just trading Luka, we should have gotten way more, like 4 first round draft pick or just something crazy. That was like the Luka trade wasn't even on anyone's radar. I mean, it
no.
wasn't on his. Clearly, he had just bought like a $15 million house in Dallas,
Yeah, and he
and
didn't get
I
shopped
ugh,
around or anything. Like,
mm-mm,
imagine if, like, not to the public, they just go to whatever and they go, "Luca's up for sale. Give me your
mhm,
best offer, blind auction, whatever.
yeah,
Give me your best offer." He's going to the best place available.
ugh,
But they're friends. Apparently, that happened at like a breakfast. They were getting breakfast
okay.
and they talked about it, and he got talked into doing the trade, and then he just did the trade. But
Without talking to a single
S-
person.
I don't know how true that one is. There's no way like
Well,
LeBron didn't know. I just don't believe LeBron. I do believe Luka
maybe.
didn't know. I do believe Luka
Yeah,
didn't know. There's just no way they made a trade with Anthony Davis, who's LeBron's guy.
mhm,
They did that trade without first going to LeBron. I mean, if he went to LeBron, it's like, listen, we got to trade AD, but we're about to get Luka Doncic. You know it. You know LeBron's like, do it. But you got
I
to
mean,
run it
yeah,
by him. That's the problem with the LeBron era is you got to run
mhm,
everything by him. So when he said, "I had no idea," I just truly don't believe that. I don't
you don't
believe
okay,
LeBron had no idea.
yeah. The whole thing is just crazy to me. Like, Luka was becoming what Dirk was to
Yeah,
Dallas.
he was.
Like,
If he wasn't already there, he was
and
definitely getting
I
there.
know, I know, and it's so sad. But I love that Dirk went to the games to support Luka. And my
Yeah.
dad was finally like, okay, I'm gonna watch the Mavs, root for the Mavs, and then also root for Luka, but not the Lakers, just
No,
Luka.
just Luka.
So
But that's like a modern basketball thing anyway. Is you
yeah,
follow one player. One of my close friends, Manny, loves Jimmy Butler. Will follow Jimmy Butler to
okay,
the end of the world. But like he was a
yeah,
Wolves fan, he was a Sixers fan, he was a Heat fan. But that's
hmm
because he just wants to follow Butler. That's always been a thing with the NBA. It's definitely bigger now. I think, than it
Yeah.
was in like the 90s. I wouldn't really know. I was like single digits in the 90s. You definitely wouldn't know. But
No.
I think it was more of a thing going into the 2000s when a lot more of those personalities were being made. I think Michael Jordan was really the one that made that, but he
Mhm.
never left really, right? He went to the Wizards, but that doesn't count. But
Yeah.
I think he was the one that really did that, and then people started following players as they moved around and stuff like that. Like
Mhm.
then people were like all on LeBron. Like all the people followed LeBron wherever he went. No matter where he went, you were a fan of that team. The same thing happened
Yeah.
with Kobe, but again, Kobe never left. So you like the
Mhm.
Lakers because of Kobe, but if Kobe would have went somewhere else, you probably would have went with him. Steph is
Yeah.
kind of getting the same thing. If Steph went to like any other team, there will be people that will just follow Steph. I don't know. I think it's because there's less people on the court. There's less players. It's
Yeah.
really you can have one player really carry a team to a win in basketball, which you just can't do. You can't do
Mhm.
it in baseball. You definitely can't do it in
Right.
football. Like you need a team around you to do everything. Where in basketball, I think there's a better opportunity to, you know, like if a guy
Mhm.
scores 70 points, there's a good chance you're going to win. If a guy scores 60, 50,
Yeah.
there's a good chance you're going to win that game, which you just can't really do in any other sport. You can hit 4 home runs in a game and lose a game. If they're 4 solo home runs, you can lose
Mhm.
5-4. And then obviously in
Yeah.
football, you can't play quarterback if no one's blocking for you. Like that's the
Right.
biggest team sport for a reason. So I think that's why people follow these players around so much. And there's a lot more
Mhm.
fluidity in basketball than there is in any other sport.
Yeah.
Guys are
Yeah.
moving all the
I like
time.
it so much because it's so personal. I feel like the players aren't wearing these, like, huge helmets, a ton of gear, you can really see them playing, and
Mhm.
there are so few on the court, and that's also, I think, what the NBA and recently the WNBA have done so like, that's their marketing has done so well because they're focusing on individual players,
Yeah.
and that kinda goes into, like, what you were saying about following the players around. Um, but it's just the whole thing. It's just crazy to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, the whole thing is
Ugh.
crazy, and now he'll be a Laker for the next decade, and AD
Mhm.
probably won't even make it to the end of next season. And then it got even
Yeah.
worse because, like, the next day, Kyrie got hurt. Like, the next
Yeah.
day, it was not even a
Yeah.
week later, Kyrie goes down, and it's like, all right, now we lost Luka, and we don't have Kyrie, and Anthony Davis got
Mhm.
hurt in the first game he played.
Yeah. So many of our players were out, and I don't know if we ever I know there was a risk of us having to forfeit a game, like, if one more person got hurt. I don't think that ever happened,
No, it didn't.
but
It got
okay,
close, though.
but
It did get close. I
yeah.
remember that. I remember
Mhm.
friends being
Yeah.
like, "Pick me up if you need me." I play hoops every Sunday. I could get out there. I could be a body. I could
Yeah.
be a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
body. But no,
Ugh.
the Luka trade was ridiculous. I remember I was asleep when it happened, and I woke up to a bunch of texts
Mhm.
like, "Did they actually just trade Luka?" And I'm just like, "Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, this is crazy." And then being in the area when it happened, like you're a fan, so you have a different
Yeah.
perspective of it. I
Mhm.
I just looked at it like, wow, that's really stupid. But then I also was
Mhm.
in the area that it happened. You could see everything happening around. Like you don't usually when something big in sports like this might be one of the biggest like steal trades of all time. And it happened from the beginning. I
Yeah.
can't think of another trade that happened where in the right when it happened, I'm like, wow, they got fleeced. Like completely
Yeah.
fleeced. They got one of the best players in the entire league for a guy that's in his 30s and breaking down. Like, how did that happen? I can't think of
Yeah.
another trade where that happened. And to be in the city when it happened was kind of crazy. Like seeing it happen
Mhm.
in real time was kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, everyone at American Airlines, like, I did never go up to American Airlines to see what was going on, but I know, like, I saw on TikTok the guys carrying the big coffin and, like,
Yeah,
just
I saw that
the whole
online too.
city.
Yeah, the whole city was
The whole
devastated.
city was in
That's
shambles.
like that's the thing. This is why you put out the rumors when something happens like this. Like you
Mhm.
could lose players when you do that, but like if you go, we're thinking of trading Luca, you see
Mhm.
the reaction and then you push back. Like, oh, that's not something we said. Like you
Yeah.
leak a story to get the
Mhm.
reaction and then you go back on it. But that's not what they did. They
Yeah.
just like they were like, oh yeah, no, we're doing it. We're not even gonna get the reaction,
Mhm.
and that's where all the rumors are gonna come from. I do think I do. I
Yeah.
don't know if they're trying to move the Mavs, but I do think there's a
Mhm.
play there for something. Like they're trying to do something. They
Yeah.
really want legalized betting near the stadium or in the
Mhm.
stadium, like
Yeah.
badly. So it's like
Yeah.
they're
There's for
hurting the entire
sure
city to make sure that
Mhm.
happens or something.
Yeah, there's something going on, and I mean, Nico Harrison just keeps, like, shoving his foot in his mouth when he is doing interviews and just he's good lord. Like, I reposted something today where he was saying, like, "I knew that Dallas fans love Luka. I didn't know this much. And then the caption was like, I fear that was an inside thought. And
Yeah.
just, oh, no, I don't know anyone who likes him right now.
No, no one should. He just
Yeah.
completely uprooted a franchise player. I mean, you go to the games, the only active player that has a jersey on every kid is Luka. And they have Kyrie, and you
Yeah.
barely see Kyrie jerseys. Like, you
Hmm.
see Luka jerseys. He just led them to the finals. That was another thing. He's like
Yeah.
out of shape. It's like, well, he almost won MVP last year and led them to
Yeah.
the finals while injured. Like,
Right. Like,
you gotta
give him
give a
some
real
grace.
excuse if you're gonna make one. Like, give a
Yeah.
real one. Like, what is the actual
Yeah.
reason you did it? If you can't give the actual reason, give one that is at least realistic. Like, that's not realistic.
Right.
He just led you to the finals.
Yeah.
It's because they want to pay the max
Oh,
deal. That's got to be. It's
probably.
either they want to move the team or they want to pay the max deal to
Hmm.
him because he was due for
Yeah.
the super max. Like,
Okay.
basically the biggest contract you could possibly. He's probably gonna get the biggest contract in NBA history. And they're like, all right, if we trade him now, we don't owe him a dime, and he can't get that because you have to be on your original team to get it.
Mm,
That's part of the incentive
well,
of keeping guys around. Like, they can.
yeah.
That's how you keep guys in like these cities that nobody wants to stay. Like Milwaukee, for example. Like,
Hmm.
if Giannis leaves, he can't make the most money he possibly can make because he left.
Oh,
So that's how they try to keep these guys around, that you get like that extra boost
yeah.
for it. But now that he was traded before he got that super max, he can't get the
Hmm.
ultimate max deal. So he actually lost, like, I can't remember what it was, but it was like tens of millions of dollars just by that happening.
Okay. Yeah. And it's not even his fault. He didn't do anything.
It's not even on him. Flaw in the system there.
Yeah.
It's not like he was like, yeah, I'm going to leave like some of these other guys do.
Hmm.
He definitely didn't want
Yeah.
to. He loved it here.
No. Yeah. Ugh. Well, what else is going on in
What else is going
anything
on,
in the
huh?
sports world? I'm like,
Well, there's not really.
when's
I don't pay
yeah.
except for WWE action, which I didn't get to watch any because
Okay.
I don't really watch it too much anyway. I follow along. You know, the league I work in
Hmm.
is owned by a WWE guy. Doesn't mean I follow that either. But yeah, no. I mean, I don't watch the Masters. Don't care about that.
No, me neither.
The NFL
I'm not
draft is the
a
day that we're recording, so I don't know.
okay.
Don't know anything about that.
Yeah. I know a ton of a ton, I think maybe two Longhorn, previous Longhorn football players got in trouble recently. I think Worthy, but I think that charge was dropped. And then Isaiah
Good, good,
Bond
good.
recently turned himself in because he was arrested or like wanted. I don't even know, but I'm like, please stop. There's too much.
Well, it's funny because people talk about this is a good one. This is a good one. So people talk about how the NFL has such a bad crime rate and stuff like that, and I think there's two reasons behind this. One, football is a very urban sport, and you have people that are coming from areas where they may had to do that their whole life. But I actually think
Okay.
I think this is a better reason why you see more in football than anywhere else. There's more players in the NFL than
Yeah.
any other league. So just speaking percentages, there's going to be more. Like, baseball has a ton of it too. There's domestic violence in baseball all the time because it's
Okay.
like not as frowned upon in some of these Spanish cultures. I imagine not Spanish cultures, but like some of these countries they're coming from. I don't think they
Hmm.
look at it as big of a deal or something because all the
Okay.
Spanish players that happens. But there's what 63 players on a football team, and there's 32 teams. Just speaking
Yeah.
percentages, there's going to be more guys. Like, yeah, you're talking Xavier Worthy, who's on the Chiefs, big name, but a lot
Hmm.
of these guys aren't as big of names as that. But you're going to get those character
Right.
issues when there's just more people.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But a lot of people like to
Yeah.
be like, yeah, NFL guys just like doing all this stuff, and it's like it actually happens everywhere.
Not all of them.
We
Yeah.
were just
And there's,
we were just talking about how in the WNBA they didn't draft somebody but there's a
yeah.
lot less players, so you don't get as many stories
Yeah.
like that.
Right. I think, yeah, I don't know. Do you know how many guys get drafted in the NFL? Like
Well, we could
each year?
try to do quick math. I mean, I can't do the quick math, but I can put out the numbers and you could try to do the quick math. There's 7 rounds,
Hold
there's
on.
32 teams.
Hold
So
on.
there's at least 299 because that was or no 190. There's at least 199 because that was what Brady was drafted in the 6th round. So it's probably 200 and something people.
They're 250, 257.
257.
Okay. And then in the
257.
WNBA, there are, I think, 156 players total.
Yes.
So,
That's what
to
I'm
your point,
saying.
that makes sense.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
We're talking, if
yeah.
we're just talking percentages here. There's going to be
Mhm,
more NFL stories when it comes to stuff like this, strictly because there's more people that play the sport. Same
yeah,
with basketball. Basketball has a good amount of them as well, but basketball has less
mhm,
people. So usually the stories you hear about are the same people. They're just the
yeah,
people with the character issues already. The
mhm,
NFL, you get a new name every single time. 90% of the time, you probably have no idea who the person even is. And when you do, it's a
yeah,
huge story. When it's like Ray Rice, it's a huge story. But when it's
mhm,
the fourth string receiver for the Cleveland Browns, you don't hear about it ever again, you know? So
yeah, yeah,
it's just a funny one to me because people love to just pin the NFL as like, this is where all the bad seeds go. But it's really not that. It's
mhm,
just 63 guys on 32 teams. Do that math if you want. Now take another, whatever it is, 20, maybe 30 on the practice squad per team. I
mhm.
don't even know how many make a practice squad, to be completely honest with you. But let's just say it's
Wow.
15. Let's just throw it out there and say 15. So now you're adding another 15 to that 63 to that 32. Now you're
Right.
talking about 15 coaches. You know, there's just so many people that are involved in this. There's going to be bad seeds somewhere in there, and there's going to be higher percentages because there's more seeds to be planted.
Yeah.
A little case study. If you ever have to do a case study, this is perfect. Perfect for you.
Okay.
Go
Well,
get your master's. Do this as a case study.
I've been thinking about that a lot because, well, I don't actually want to go get my master's. I'm like, I'm done with school. But two of
Yeah.
my friends are graduating in May with their masters. I'm like, that sounds really
Well,
cool. But
when I was in school, I did not do school good, as you tell from that sentence. So when I was, in high school, but it's not. I don't think it was an intelligence thing. Well, it was definitely for some, like math. I
Mhm.
just sucked at. I could not do math. That's why I had you do the math
Okay.
just now.
Yeah.
But I don't even think it was I don't even think it was like an intelligence thing. I just didn't care. Like I grew up in a community that didn't care. Like not my parents or
Okay.
anything, but like the school itself, no one cared. Like it
Mhm.
was a pretty ghetto high school, no one cared. So when I grew up, I didn't care. So then I went off to college and I still had that mentality for most things until I found production that I really liked. All my core
Okay.
classes, except for history and like, I think it was like, I don't know, history and writing or whatever, like those two I did really well in, but like math,
Mhm.
science, those other core classes I didn't because I didn't care. Like that's not what I wanted to do. But when you
Right.
look at like my majors classes, I had straight A's and everything because I enjoyed that. So
Mhm.
I always, when I got done, I'm like, I'm never going back to school because I didn't care about school. And then I was 27 when I went back to school and got my
Okay.
master's.
I
And
didn't
I
know
was
that.
like, yeah. And I was like, I kind of want to go get my master's. I was kind of plateauing where I was. So I was just kind of riding the wave along. I was working with the Red Sox for a little bit in their marketing. And then I started coaching again. And then I was like, which direction do I want to go in? I did video for a while. I did TV, hated that. Done some video, but I'm not really moving up in the world there. Went into coaching, and I was like, all right, I'll try coaching. COVID hits, whatever. I do go to Gonzaga. I get there. A GA ship I was supposed to have with coaching gets canceled because of COVID, which pushes me
Mhm.
back into video and me going, oh, this is what I'm good at. This is what I like to do. This is where my knowledge is. This is where I should stay. And that's how I
Yeah.
stayed in video, and that's where I am today. But it's not a overnight process, right? Like I graduated at 21. I don't even
Mhm.
consider school till 27, and then I graduate with my major. I graduate with my master's at 29. So you're
Okay.
talking an 8-year difference between graduating
Yeah.
with my bachelor's and graduating with my master's. So
Mhm.
it is something to think about, but it's not an overnight thing. And if you have
Yeah.
the feeling of going back, just looking into it is like
Mhm.
that's just the first step, right? Like let's look into like, is it worth it? Am I not
Yeah.
getting any opportunities? Am I not getting any offers? Would
Mhm.
it help me move to the next step? Would it help me move into the direction I want to go to? If it's not going to do it, then it's not worth it. Can I get it paid
Right.
for? I didn't get mine paid for. I paid for mine
Mhm.
because COVID kind of knocked out everything. So I didn't really
Yeah.
have an opportunity to get it paid for, but I don't regret doing it because it gave me some of the
Mhm.
best opportunities I was able to get, and it got me into the creative space of video, which is truly where I want to be. the creative video
Right.
space. So could it help you is what you got to think.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to keep in mind that I'm literally only 23. I don't need to
Yeah.
rush anything, but I'm also like, I have to. It's the first time in my life I've never known exactly what's next. So I'm like,
Yeah. And it's scary to think
but
that. You're going to be fine. For people who don't know,
yeah.
she's worked for me. I know she's great at what she does. I know she's going to be fine. But if
Well,
the best thing with the Masters is like if you got that entry job and then you go into that next step, getting your Masters can help progress that next step. So like
right.
if you go into, you're going to probably still have to go into an entry job, but then like getting into the managing, getting into the director's position might speed it up, but it might not. You're still young. You still have
Yeah.
things to do. If you're reaching 27, 28 and you're still like, I've been doing this and that, but I don't know if I'm exactly where I want to be. Then it might be time to be like, maybe I should go get another degree. Maybe I should explore a different path. Not a different path as in get out of video or get out of production.
Right.
But like me, I was in TV forever. Like that's what I did for a long time. I did with Harvard. I did it with minor league baseball. Like I was in TV, and it sucks. I hated TV. But when I'm much older than you are, and that's what you had to, when you wanted to go into video, that's what they sent you in because social media and stuff
Yeah.
wasn't what it is today.
Right.
Now you need creative people. Now you need creative video. Now you need all that. But
Yeah.
and that's what I got back into. And now here I am,
Yep.
thriving.
Oh, yeah.
Thriving out here. By the way, we're going to wrap up soon. Is that a jelly cat behind you?
Yeah.
Your basketball
I've put him
jelly
here.
cat.
He usually sits on that side of my room, but isn't it so cute?
Yeah, so you did it. So Mary loves jelly cats. If she when she sees this, she's going to freak because she loves jelly cats. I've seen the baseball, but I haven't seen the basketball. Did you get that from a certain jelly cat store, or did you just find it randomly?
So,
I don't even know where they actually sell. I know they
went-
have their own stores. I don't know if they sell them anywhere else.
Yeah.
I know nothing about these
No,
things.
it was a little boutique my boyfriend lives in Houston. And so I went to visit him and his mom was like, you should go here. And I was like, perfect. I need to get a gift for my roommate or she was my roommate. She's my friend. And we went in and so I saw all the little jelly cats they had. They had a little egg. I got that for my friend Holly. And then I saw the basketball. I was like, I have to get it. They had a football. They had, I think, a ping pong ball or
A golf ball.
That's what
It was a golf ball.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was a golf ball. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I already know. I'm telling you, I saw most of them, but I didn't see the basketball.
Yeah. No, they had like 4 of the basketball ones. I was like, I have to get it. I have to. And it's so precious. And I have 2 Dachshund jelly cats. I have 2 bee jelly cats, but
If you ever
one-
need to talk
that
about
one
jelly
wins.
cats, Mary's obsessed with them. Obsessed with them.
They're so cute.
So when we went to New York City, a stop for her was that famous toy store. What is it called? You know what I'm talking about? Anyway,
I know what you're talking about. I
the
don't
one
know
from
name.
Big. You know Big, Tom Hanks? Doesn't matter. I think it's F.A. Schwartz or something like that. It's called something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, it's in Rockefeller Center. So we had to go there because they have the Jelly Cat store, which was a huge letdown. They had nothing there. But in the downstairs,
Really?
they have the Jelly Cat Cafe where you get to make your Jelly Cat.
Okay.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
like put it on the grill and they flip it and all this stuff. So we saw that, but then we went upstairs because she wanted to see if they had one she would be interested in. And we went upstairs and the selection was just not great. Not a great selection at the Jelly Cat store at F.A. Schwartz. I think it's called F.A.
Yeah.
Schwartz. I should look it up. I'm not going to. They didn't have a good
sounds right.
selection.
I don't know.
All I know is in
Okay.
Big, Tom Hanks runs across the piano. That's it. That's at his toy store. Have you seen Big? Do you even know what I'm talking about here?
No.
1988 Tom Hanks movie. It's great. He's a child in an adult's body. Kind of weird when the
Okay.
girl starts hitting on him because he's a child. But whatever. It's the 80s.
Yeah.
Different time. Different time.
More was
movies.
acceptable back then.
Hey, in 1985, Back to the Future came out. Back to the Future is probably my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies. But
So
in
good.
that movie, his mom tries to sleep with him. So it's like,
Yeah.
there's
little,
a couple things that needed to be worked out there. So you love Back to. We've actually talked about that before. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
We went to
we
see the Back to the Future musical.
How was it?
Did not like it. Did not like it whatsoever.
Yeah.
If you've never seen Back to the Future, I think it's great. If you've seen it,
Okay.
you're like, so it was so funny because I was sitting there, I'm like, I don't know if I like this. Like, I love Back to the Future.
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't know if I like this. So we're leaving. We left at intermission because we're like, all right,
Okay.
it's just not worth
Wow.
staying. It's just not worth staying for
That
us.
bad.
It's not that it was
Yeah.
that bad. Let me explain it. But as we were leaving, there were two young gentlemen sitting behind us.
Mhm.
One that clearly has seen it and one that clearly hasn't seen it. And the guy that hasn't
Okay.
seen it goes, "Oh my God, this is so good." And the guy that has seen it is like, "I don't know. It's like there's something off about it." And that's exactly
Mhm.
what it is. So
Okay.
the best way I can explain it, this is the best way I can explain it, is
Uh-huh.
when Mayor Goldie Wilson, they go back and he's in the diner and like
Yeah.
he's talking to him. He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna be mayor," and he goes, "Mayor, I like the sound of that, mayor." They do that scene, which then leads into a 5-minute music number about Goldie Wilson becoming the
Oh,
mayor, and it's like
no.
it was 4 lines in the movie. What are
Yeah.
we
So
doing?
something that's not even important.
It's not even important to the story. It has nothing. The
Okay.
only importance to the story is that he was the mayor when he was in the future, and now he saw him as
Right.
a busboy in the past. There's no importance to it. There's a 5-minute music number about how his mom wants to sleep with him. There's a 5-minute
Okay.
music number about everything, and it's just that there's that. And then the other
Yeah.
thing is it's so played for comedy. So played for comedy, which Back
Okay.
to the Future has its funny moments, but I think the
Mhm.
delivery and the punch of it is what makes the moment funny. And when they did
Right.
those moments again, whether they changed it or they did the same exact moment, which there were some it was the same word for word, and then some
Mhm.
that they changed it a little bit. And the ones where they changed it a little bit, they just played it for such comedy where it was almost like slapstick humor instead of like
Okay.
the more of dry or passive
Mhm.
humor that Back to the Future had. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
the wearing a vest or that's heavy, and there's like, oh, the gravity here,
Mhm.
like that stuff, like that kind of it can go over your head if you're not paying attention. What is the best
Right.
the humor that I enjoyed from Back to the Future, because it's not a comedy at the
Mhm.
end of the day, right? So,
No.
but they were just played
Okay.
so heavy for comedy in it. I'll give it its props in a couple of
Mhm.
things. One of the things is the DeLorean scene was sick. So they took
Uh-huh.
2 screens and they put them in between, and they put there's an actual DeLorean they had, and it just made for
Okay.
awesome effects.
Okay.
But that doesn't do anything for the story.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
if you want to go see it,
I
don't let me ruin it
Uh-huh.
for you. But
There's only one musical I've ever seen that I was like, "This is terrible, I don't wanna be here anymore," and it was, A Christmas Story, the musical, and I saw it in high school because my theater department, like, got tickets to see a bunch of shows in Dallas,
yeah,
and we went and saw that one and then a couple others, and the others were fine, but this one I don't even remember what was going on, I just remember being like, "This is terrible."
well, it's funny. It's funny
So
because I'm a big fan of The Simpsons. Okay.
okay,
That's where I grew up on The Simpsons. Again, something
okay.
that it's still around now, but like the golden age,
Mhm.
you weren't born by like probably 5, 6, 7 years. Well, I think the golden age kind of ended in 98-ish, 99.
Okay, yeah,
So
so 4
yeah,
years before I was
yeah.
born.
So I mean, it was still pretty good, but those first.
Mhm.
Have you seen like? I'm sure you've seen The Simpsons at some point. It's so big in culture. But have you actually
I've
watched
seen
The Simpsons?
No, I've never watched it. I've seen a bunch of the, like, oh, predicting the future, but I've never
Do
actually
yourself a
sat down and
favor.
watched it.
You're a film
Okay.
person, so this
Yeah.
is great for you. Watch, and I know it
Mhm.
sounds crazy, but trust me, you're gonna start and you're not gonna want to stop. The first 7
Okay.
seasons of The Simpsons are gold. Every episode is
Okay.
really good, and it's not
Okay.
just because like of the story. It's just so well written for the first 7
Mhm.
seasons, and every story is enjoyable, which is not
Mhm.
as well. It's not like now it's like they're kind of like just throwing things around. But at the
Yeah.
time, like every story was so well written. So I'm telling you, even if you need a background show, the first 7 seasons of The
Okay.
Simpsons, probably 3 to 7 is like its prime.
Okay.
All the memes you see of The Simpsons, it's almost like SpongeBob, where all the memes you see are like
Okay.
seasons 1 through 4, and they're
Uh-huh.
on like season 25 now. but the rest of those, you don't like. No one even cares about because they just weren't as good.
Right.
My thing is throwing me off because it's talking to me again. Anyway, the first three through
I can
seven,
hear it a little bit.
you can hear it a little bit. I know it's
Yeah.
talking to me. The 3 through 7 is where you see all the memes. It's where you see all the jokes. It's where you see all the predictions. But anyway, this isn't what I was going to talk about. So I'm a big fan of The Simpsons. And it makes me laugh because in one of the first, I'll say 5 seasons, they did a joke of the Planet of the Apes, the musical. Okay?
Okay.
If you haven't seen it, it's very funny. Troy McClure, who's played by Bret Hartman, which if you don't know who that is, Bret Hartman was on SNL and he was murdered by his girlfriend or wife while he was sleeping.
Yes. Okay.
Phil
Yes.
Hartman. I don't know. I may have mixed up some names. Phil Hartman is what his name is. But his name in the show is Troy McClure. He's like this actor. He's like, I'm Troy McClure. You may know me from, It's a Stranger. Like, that's what he always did. It's one of my favorite little gags. But Troy McClure stars in this. And the joke is they're just making musicals out of movies that don't need musicals. So it's Planet of the Apes, the musical. And the reason it even gets brought up is because it's starting to go around again where there's was it Dr. Seuss? It's like Dr. Seuss, Dr. Seuss. You won't know what I'm talking about because you haven't seen The Simpsons. It probably hasn't come across.
Yeah.
But Dr. Seuss, who's the ape doctor in there, comes in and they just start singing a song like Dr. Seuss, Dr. Seuss. Oh, Dr. Seuss, Dr. Seuss. But it's funny because they're saying like it was a movie made into a musical that doesn't. This is back in like 1993. They're doing this.
Yeah.
That was made into a musical, and now they're just doing a music number because they need a music number about Dr. Seuss. And here we are talking about Back to the Future, the musical, where they're just doing a music number about Gordy Wilson because they need a music number. And that's why I think it's so smart because in 1993, they're making fun of this. Here we are in 2025, and it's just as relevant now because that's all they're making musicals about. So going back to, what'd you say, Christmas Carol, right? Going back to a Christmas Story. A Christmas Story, one that definitely doesn't need a musical. But because it's such a successful movie, they're trying to figure out other ways to do something about it. So the reason I bring up The Simpsons is because they've been saying it since 1993 or 4 that we don't need this. And here we are still doing it. So
I don't like when they make Broadway musicals into movies. Like they did that with, Mean Girls was a movie first and then a musical and then now a musical. I couldn't even watch it. It was so bad.
That's what Mary said too. She said it was awful.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. I think Renee Rapp was maybe the only person who could actually like Broadway level sing.
Yeah.
And then there was another one I was just thinking about. I can't remember. But
well, some of them it's not always terrible. Which one did I see that was fine? In the Heights was fine as a movie. Okay. That was a musical that started. In the Heights, the musical is fantastic. I don't know how into musicals you are at this point in your life.
Very.
Okay, I was going to say, if you're not yet, you will be. I wasn't really into them, and then I grew into them, went out to Spokane, really started watching them. That's when I saw Hamilton, Julius Thomas, who's now like a close friend of mine who played Alexander Hamilton. Like, that's when I first met him, and that's kind of when I got into him. And then when I went to Connecticut, we had the local theater season pass. So I saw In the Heights. Okay. We saw we saw a bunch of them there because they would do like 6 shows a year. So we get to go to all of them, and our seats were like the 3rd row. So we got like really good stuff there. So that's when I really got into it. So we did Back to the Future because I was like, Back to the Future would be great. I'm waiting for the Bass Theater. If you're listening, Bass Theater in Fort Worth, release the goddamn tickets for Book of Mormon. Release the tickets for Book of Mormon. I've been waiting. I even called them. I'm like, hey, I'm waiting for the Book of Mormon stuff, and they still haven't released them. It's in like 3 months. I want to go take Mary to the Book of Mormon. Yeah, if
I've never seen that one.
You got to go see it. When the tickets come out, I'm sending you the link. You can come with us. Okay. You both can come with us. Bring your boyfriend too. Because the Book of Mormon, I've seen it. It's so funny. It's so funny. Okay. So, but I contacted them because the tickets are on the site, but you can't purchase them, and it says you can't purchase them till the day of the show. And I'm like, that's completely not true. So I called them like, they'll go up eventually. Like, when's eventually? Put them up now. I want to buy the tickets now so we have them, so I know the date, so I don't plan anything. That's how
Yeah.
this works. Bass
I'm
Theater
just
in Fort
excited.
Worth.
Yeah, I'm excited to see I'm gonna see Hamilton again. I've seen it twice.
Does it come back around here?
Um, I think so it's either I think it's in Fort Worth. I don't think it's at Fair Park,
Yeah, yeah.
but,
The Bass one. This is the same one I'm talking
it
about.
was
Bass.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Hamilton
yeah.
too, if you haven't already
And
released them.
I've seen something at Bass, but I've seen most of the musicals I've seen have been at Fair Park,
Fair
and
Park
then I
is
saw a
where
couple
Back
in
to the Future
Austin.
was as well. Was at Fair
Okay,
Park.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I saw Frozen, and it was incredible. I was
Yeah.
like, I mean, I like the movie,
Well,
but
that makes
the
sense. There's a
musical
lot of
was
music
just
already in the movie, so like it makes
right.
sense to become a musical. There's no
Yeah.
music other than "That's the Power of Love" in Back to the Future, and they barely even
Yeah.
use that one. They make all new stuff.
Right.
Makes no sense.
Goodness.
Makes no sense. All right. This
Yeah.
has been great. Let's wrap this thing up, though. Remember, everybody, audibletrial.com/Schnabel Studios. Get your free 30-day trial of Audible. I use Audible all the time, literally all the time. I love Audible, especially with all this traveling I'm doing. I just throw it on. You can download it right to your phone, listen to the entire book. I love biographies. They are read by the people. I don't necessarily like them being read by the people, but they do have the celebrities reading them. So definitely do that. If you have a pet, check out Nicasa.com. Nicasa, you can get vacuums and other cleaning supplies for your pets. We are definitely waiting for our vacuum to get in because our house is getting crazy furry. So we're trying to get our Nicasa vacuum in. I can let you guys know how that goes when it gets here. But if you have pets and you need to clean up your house, Nicasa.com. Use code MADPropsPod to get a nice little discount on your purchase there. And make sure you check out Schnabel Studios. We have things going on at Schnabel Studios coming up. Nothing new recently, but things in the works, hopefully, that you can check out on schnabelstudios.com. Hannah, thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you for listening. This has been Mad Props. We will catch you next time. See you later. Peace out. Bye-bye.